Welcome to another special episode of Majestic Mind Matters University Mandatory Mental Liberation Series. Produced by the founder, Baba Jelani Bomani Dembe, and narrated by Royal Queen Magical Melanin. Just listen as Baba Jelani Bomani shares his insights, hopefully conveying valuable information, perspectives, or realizations to our melanin-rich culture communities. This episode allows for the exchange of knowledge and experiences, fostering learning, growth, and understanding among our melanin-rich culture individuals or groups. By sharing insights that inspire, educate, or provide support to our melanin-rich people, contributing to personal and collective development, which involves communicating observations, lessons learned, or unique viewpoints to spark discussions, to generate new ideas, and enhance mutual understanding as a new nation of melanin-rich culture. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this link. This episode is entitled, Sagging Your Pants Means You Really Don't Know This. Sagging pants, a trend that gained popularity in the 1990s, has been a controversial fashion statement that continues to cause debate in our melanin-rich communities. The trend involves wearing pants below the waistline, revealing the underwear or even more of the individual's body than intended. While some view sagging pants as a simple fashion choice, others know that it has negative impact, particularly on our melanin-rich children. A recent history sagging pants can be traced back to the prison system, where inmates were not allowed to wear belts for fear of self-harm or using them as weapons. As a result, their pants would sag due to the absence of belts. This style was adopted by some individuals upon leaving prison, particularly in the melanin-rich communities, as a way to signify their tough image and time spent in prison. However, the trend soon transcended the prison walls and became a mainstream fashion statement, particularly in the melanin-rich hip-hop culture. Rappers and celebrities popularized the style, further fueling its popularity among our young people. Today, sagging pants are often associated with rebelliousness, defiance, and a disregard for white authority. Despite its popularity, sagging pants have been heavily criticized for its negative implications. One of the main concerns surrounding sagging pants is the perpetuation of negative stereotypes. The trend is often associated with gang culture, crime, and delinquency, leading to increased racial profiling and discrimination towards our melanin-rich people who choose to wear their pants low. Our melanin-rich children are particularly vulnerable to these stereotypes, as they are often unfairly judged and stereotyped based on their appearance. Furthermore, sagging pants have practical implications as well. Wearing pants below the waistline can impede movement, making it difficult to walk, run, or engage in physical activities. It can also lead to serious health issues, such as back problems and muscle strain, as the individual is forced to constantly adjust their posture to keep their pants up. Moreover, sagging pants can also have an impact on a child's self-esteem and self-image. By conforming to a trend that promotes negative stereotypes and undermines their own dignity, our melanin-rich children may internalize these messages and develop a negative self-perception. This can have long-lasting effects on their mental health and well-being, leading to a lack of self-confidence and self-worth, due mainly to the lack of knowledge of self. In addition, sagging pants has academic implications. Schools across the country have implemented dress codes that prohibit sagging pants, deeming them as inappropriate and distracting. As a result, students who choose to wear their pants low will usually face disciplinary action, such as detention and/or suspension, jeopardizing their academic success and future opportunities. It is crucial for melanin-rich culture parents, educators, and community leaders to address the negative impacts of sagging pants on our melanin-rich children and advocate for more positive self-expression. By promoting self-respect, self-worth, and a more positive self-image, we can empower our melanin-rich children to make healthier choices and embrace their own identity with greater confidence. In conclusion, sagging pants may seem like a harmless fashion trend, but its implications go far beyond mere aesthetics. By perpetuating negative stereotypes, impeding movement, affecting self-esteem, and hindering academic success, sagging pants have detrimental effects on our melanin-rich children. It is imperative that we educate our melanin-rich youth about the consequences of their choices and encourage them to express themselves in ways that uplift and empower them. Only then can we ensure a brighter future for our melanin-rich children and promote a society that values our true diversity and inclusivity. Here are 4 cultural influences that have contributed to the popularity of sagging pants among melanin-rich youth. 1. Hip-hop culture. Sagging pants have been associated with hip-hop culture, particularly in the 1990s and early 2000s. Many hip-hop artists, such as LL Cool J and Snoop Dogg, have been known to sag their pants in their music videos and live performances, which has influenced their young fans to emulate their style. 2. Rebellion against authority. Sagging pants have also been seen as a form of rebellion against authority figures, particularly among our young melanin-rich people, who may feel marginalized or discriminated against. By wearing sagging pants, they are seemingly asserting their independence and challenging societal norms. 3. Prison culture. Some argue that sagging pants originated in prison culture, where inmates were not allowed to wear belts for safety reasons. As a result, their pants would sag below their waistline. This style was then adopted by some individuals upon their release from prison and eventually became a fashion statement. 4. Peer influence. Like many fashion trends, sagging pants have also gained popularity through peer influence. Young people often look to their peers for fashion inspiration and may adopt certain styles in order to fit in or be seen as trendy. Overall, the popularity of sagging pants among melanin-rich youth can be attributed to a combination of cultural influences, fashion trends, and a desire for self-expression and rebellion against societal norms. Historical stereotypes and biases have played a significant role in shaping the perception of sagging pants within our melanin-rich communities. One of the most pervasive stereotypes associated with sagging pants is that it is a sign of criminality and irresponsibility, often linked to our melanin-rich communities. This stereotype has roots in racist ideologies that have demonized and criminalized melanin-rich bodies and culture. Additionally, sagging pants is negatively stereotyped as a form of rebelliousness and defiance against authority. This perception is often linked to the history of resistance and activism within our melanin-rich communities, where certain styles of dress and behavior were used as expressions of defiance against racist, oppressive systems. These historical stereotypes and biases have led to the stigmatization of sagging pants within our melanin-rich communities. As a result, melanin-rich individuals who choose to wear sagging pants will face discrimination, profiling, and negative judgments based on these stereotypes. This not only perpetuates harmful beliefs about our melanin-rich culture, but also reinforces systemic inequalities and injustices within society worldwide. The phenomenon of sagging pants, a trend characterized by wearing trousers below the waistline in such a way that the underwear is visible, has been a subject of controversy and debate for quite some time. While some may view sagging pants as a fashion statement or a form of self-expression, it is essential to recognize the problematic history behind this trend, particularly its ties to chattel enslavement and sexual violation. The history of sagging pants can be traced back to the practice of forced nudity and degradation that our enslaved melanin-rich ancestors endured and were subjected to during chattel enslavement in the United States. Our enslaved ancestors were routinely stripped of their clothing as a means of dehumanizing them and asserting power and control over their bodies. This act of forced nudity was not only a physical violation, but also a form of psychological and sexual violence. By exposing their bodies in such a vulnerable and degrading manner, our enslaved ancestors were stripped of their dignity and agency, serving as a reminder of their status as property to be exploited and abused at will by the enslavers. The sagging of the pants during the auction of our male ancestors was a distressing and dehumanizing sight that never went unnoticed or ignored by those in positions of power and privilege. However, upon closer examination, it becomes clear that this seemingly innocuous act was actually a significant indicator of the sexual violence and exploitation that these men had endured, and it usually indicated he was now submissive and the total mercy of his enslavers. In this message we will explore the implications of sagging pants during enslavement auctions of our ancestors and how it serves as evidence of the sexual violation that our melanin-rich men faced during this dark period in American, as well as world history. During the transatlantic enslavement trade, our melanin-rich men were viewed as nothing more than commodities to be bought, sold, and traded like any animal. Their bodies were objectified and their humanity stripped away, leaving them vulnerable to any or all forms of abuse, including sexual violence. The sagging of the pants during enslavement auctions was a physical manifestation of this violation, as it revealed the lack of control and autonomy these men had over their own melanin-rich bodies. When a melanin-rich man's pants sagged during an auction, it was not simply a result of inadequate clothing or poor tailoring. Rather, it was a deliberate and calculated act intended to humiliate and degrade him and indicate he was more submissive, as a result, while simultaneously serving as an indicator to others. By forcibly exposing a melanin-rich man's body in such a public and degrading manner, enslavers and auctioneers sought to assert their power and dominance over our enslaved ancestors, reminding them of their place in a very wicked and cruel society as mere possessions to be used and abused at will. Furthermore, the sagging of the pants during an enslavement auction also alluded to the sexual exploitation that our melanin-rich men were often subjected to. As property of white enslavers, these melanin-rich men were frequently forced to perform sexual acts against their will, with little to no recourse for justice nor protection. The sagging pants served as a visual cue to potential buyers that these men were not only physically strong and capable of hard labor, but also sexually available and willingly compliant. In addition to the overt sexual implications of sagging pants during enslavement auctions, there were also deeper psychological and emotional consequences for the men who experienced this type of dehumanization. The act of having one's pants pulled down in front of a crowd of strangers not only stripped away their dignity and self-respect, but also reinforced the idea that they were nothing more than property to be bought and sold at the whim of their enslavers. It is important to recognize the lasting impact of these forms of sexual violence and exploitation on the descendants of chattel enslavement, as these traumas have been passed down through generations and continue to affect our melanin-rich communities today. The sagging of the pants during enslavement auctions serves as a painful reminder of the deep-rooted, unfavorable legacy of systematic oppression and dehumanization that continues to shape the experiences of melanin-rich men in America, still to this very day. In this context, sagging pants, a subconscious or misguided attempt to reclaim a sense of autonomy and defiance in the face of historical trauma and oppression. By wearing their pants below the waistline, melanin-rich individuals may be unwittingly drawing on this unfavorable legacy of resistance and resilience, seeking to assert their identity and assert their right to self-expression in a society that has historically sought to dehumanize and marginalize our melanin-rich culture. However, it is crucial to acknowledge that the act of sagging pants also carries with it a myriad of negative connotations and implications. In contemporary society, sagging pants are often associated with criminality, delinquency, and social deviance. The visibility of underwear is seen as a sign of disrespect, potential homosexuality, and impropriety, leading to increased surveillance, magnifying profiling and discrimination against melanin-rich individuals who choose to wear their pants in this manner. Moreover, sagging pants has a detrimental impact on the physical and mental well-being of melanin-rich individuals, particularly our youth. The constant need to adjust and hold up sagging pants can lead to poor posture, back problems, and discomfort. In addition, the negative stereotypes and judgments associated with sagging pants contribute to low self-esteem, self-doubt, and degrading internalized racism, reinforcing harmful narratives about personal worth and potential. For our melanin-rich children, in particular, sagging pants perpetuate harmful stereotypes and contribute to the criminalization and dehumanization of melanin-rich bodies. By aligning themselves with a fashion trend that is rooted in a history of sexual violation and degradation, our melanin-rich young people may unknowingly internalize and perpetuate harmful beliefs about their own worth and agency. Here's 7 ways to combat the urge for our melanin-rich culture individuals to continue sagging their pants. 1. Representation. Ensure that our melanin-rich children see themselves reflected positively in media, literature, and other forms of cultural representation. This includes showcasing diverse beauty standards and role models that promote self-love and empowerment. 2. Education. Incorporate curriculum that promotes cultural diversity and inclusivity in schools and educational institutions. Teach our melanin-rich children about the achievements and contributions of other melanin-rich individuals and communities to show that they are valued and important. 3. Community support. Create safe spaces and support networks for our melanin-rich children to connect, share experiences, and build greater self-confidence. These spaces will provide mentorship, resources, and encouragement to help our melanin-rich culture children navigate challenges and develop a positive self-image. 4. Challenging stereotypes. Encourage discussions and conversations that challenge stereotypes and biases based on the amount of melanin in our skin. Help melanin-rich children understand that beauty comes in all forms of melanin richness, making us powerful, successful, and truly confident. 5. Celebrate diversity. Organize events, programs, and initiatives that celebrate the beauty and diversity of our melanin-rich culture and communities. To help our melanin-rich children feel proud of our heritage and identity and promote a sense of empowerment and belonging. 6. Encourage self-care. Teach melanin-rich children the importance of self-care practices that promote self-love and self-confidence. This can include activities such as mindfulness, journaling, exercise, creative expression, and other forms of self-expression that help our melanin-rich culture children feel empowered and connected to themselves. 7. Support from adults. Melanin-rich culture parents, teachers, caregivers, and other adults in children's lives play a crucial role in promoting positive self-image and empowerment. Be mindful of the language used when talking to our melanin-rich children about their appearance, capabilities, and potential, and provide consistent support and encouragement to help build their self-esteem. For facts in association of sagging pants with the sexual violation of melanin-rich ancestors during chattel enslavement can be linked to several historical events and cultural influences. 1. Chattel enslavement. During the transatlantic slave trade and chattel enslavement in the Americas, enslaved people were subjected to various forms of physical and sexual violence by their enslavers. In order to assert dominance and control over enslaved individuals, enslavers would often strip them of their clothing, including their pants, as a means of humiliation and dehumanization. 2. Jim Crow era. During the Jim Crow era in the United States, laws and social customs enforced racial segregation and discrimination against melanin-rich people born in America due to chattel enslavement. Melanin-rich culture men were often targeted by law enforcement and white vigilantes who used tactics such as public humiliation and violence to assert control over and intimidate them. Sagging pants may be seen as a form of resistance or defiance against white authority and societal expectations. 3. Hip-hop and street culture. In the late 20th century, sagging pants became a fashion trend associated with hip-hop and street culture. As hip-hop music and culture gained popularity, sagging pants became a symbol of rebellion and defiance against mainstream norms. However, this fashion trend has also been criticized for perpetuating negative stereotypes about our melanin-rich culture men and reinforcing ideas of criminality and hypersexuality. 4. Media portrayal. The portrayal of our melanin-rich culture people born in America, due to chattel enslavement of our ancestors, in their media, particularly in popular culture and news outlets, which reinforces negative stereotypes and associations with criminal behavior and sexual promiscuity. Images of our melanin-rich culture men wearing sagging pants is used to perpetuate these stereotypes and further stigmatize marginalized our melanin-rich culture communities. Overall, the association of sagging pants with the sexual violation of our melanin-rich ancestors during chattel enslavement is rooted in historical oppression, systemic racism, and cultural representations. It reflects the enduring impact of centuries of exploitation and dehumanization on our melanin-rich culture communities and underscores the need for greater awareness and understanding of the intersection of race, gender, and sexuality in this dark American society. In conclusion, the sagging of the pants during the enslavement auction of our melanin-rich male ancestors was not simply a fashion faux pas or a result of poor tailoring, but rather a powerful symbol of the sexual violence and exploitation that our melanin-rich male ancestors endured during the transatlantic enslavers' trade. By examining this seemingly mundane act through a critical lens, we begin to unravel the complex web of trauma, oppression, and dehumanization that has defined the experiences of every melanin-rich man in America for centuries. Only by confronting and acknowledging these painful truths can we begin to heal and move forward as a more just and equitable society for us as well. I'm your royal narrator, Queen Magical Melanin. We trust that you have expanded your understanding through the insights shared by Baba Jelani Bomani Dembe, the founder of Majestic Mind Matters University in our Mandatory Mental Liberation series. Specifically, in this discussion titled, Sagging Your Pants Means You Really Don't Know This. Remember, it is essential to honor the ancestors. We have a unique connection to the ancestors. They endured struggles, preserved culture, and passed down invaluable wisdom through generations. By honoring the ancestors, we pay tribute to our roots and draw great strength and inspiration from the resilience and legacy that have paved the way for our present and future generations. Ancestral reverence is a powerful way for us to uphold our identity, heritage, and cultural legacy. Here is an Alkebulan proverb to remember. If you think you are too small to make a difference, you have not spent the night with a mosquito. So, like, subscribe, and share this link with everyone you care about and especially those who care for all of yours as well. Whenever you're around people who say they don't see color, it really means they don't see you. It is crucial that you continually seek knowledge of self and strive daily for personal growth through self-awareness. Always treat yourself kindly, and you will live a gloriously fulfilling life.